In this video, I'm going to tell you what science says about quality sleep and its impact on cognitive function. And if you're not getting enough quality sleep, you're in the right place. I'm a formally trained clinical herbalist, and I'm going to share some of my favorite herbs to support this. But first, quick disclaimer. According to this meta-analysis of 22 research articles, there are 4 primary areas of cognitive function that are impacted with reduced sleep. Simple attention, meaning your ability to focus on simple tasks. Complex attention, meaning your ability to focus on multiple tasks or to be able to shift your focus. Working memory, which is how your brain can make sense of the information you're taking in. And alertness, which allows you to take in information. I know for me personally, when I'm tired, and especially if I've gotten poor sleep multiple nights in a row, I can't focus on anything. I am so easily distracted. And worst of all, I am so overly sensitive. Like anything can make me cry. It is so embarrassing. What about you? Share with me in the comment box below. But let's keep going with this meta-analysis. The optimal time of sleep is 7 to 8 hours each night. Sleep outside of this range increases the risk of impaired executive function, nonverbal memory, and working memory. Okay, so some nights you might not get the best sleep and you might not be able to be as on as you can be, but what's the big deal, right? You've made it this far in life and all things considered, you're doing pretty well. Well, the research also suggests that if you're not getting quality sleep on a regular basis, it can actually increase your chances of cognitive decline later. Let's look at this part. Sleep disorder as modifiable risk factor induces, and actually, I know that we're not talking about sleep disorders, but let's be honest, if you have a habit of not being able to sleep well, it is a form of disordered sleeping. Now, I'm not diagnosing, but if you went to a doctor, they could probably put you in a category of what form of disordered sleeping pattern that would be. Let's get back to the research article. Induces cellular senescence by triggering, and senescence means the like aging of a cell, by triggering activation of inflammatory responses, including telomere shortening. Telomeres are like these protective caps on chromosomes. Think about your shoelaces, that little plastic thing. You know how like over time it starts to wear down and then the shoelaces become frayed? That is very symbolic of what telomeres are like on your chromosomes, which will impact DNA, your ability to replicate cells, healing, and increase cellular aging. So now that you know why getting quality sleep is so important, which herbs can you take to support this? And before I tell you that, can I just ask, if you are getting value out of this video, can you please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment below, or share it with somebody? Humulus lupulus. This one is indicated for irritability, a high sex drive, or being overly preoccupied with sex. People who are naturally a bit hot, because this sun does have cooling energetics. So think someone that has like a red face or their red cheeks. They're a bit snappy and fiery and not afraid to express their irritability. This one is also specifically indicated for people who are convinced they are a night owl because they have trained themselves to stay awake so late. Respectfully, no, you're not. You are not biologically designed that way. Your circadian rhythm does not want to function that way. It's just not natural, but it might be natural for you because you're so used to it. Use this as an indicator that your circadian rhythm is a little out of whack. So we're going to get that fixed starting with hops, possibly, or one of the other herbs. And if your circadian rhythm is out of whack because of excess cortisol levels or excess stress, this video somewhere, I'm going to put it somewhere, might be really helpful for you too. So consider watching that. Additionally, this one also has properties that are supportive for indigestion. So if you eat and feel really crampy or gassy afterwards, especially after carbohydrates, this one can also be really supportive. I don't recommend this one for people who naturally run cold because it does have such cooling energetics. So like meaning if you have cold hands and cold feet all the time, this one might not be the best fit for you. Additionally, I don't recommend this one if you are somebody that struggles with depression or if you have estrogen dominance, because this one does have phytoestrogen properties. With that being said, it is considered a galactagogue, meaning that if you are breastfeeding, it can increase your milk supply. So be aware of that if you are actually trying to wean your baby off of breast milk. This might not be the best fit for you. Passiflora incanata, commonly known as Passionflower. This one is specific for people who are dealing with long-standing stress. Excuse me. people who are dealing with long-standing stress or who have experienced a traumatic situation and it's really jolted their nerves, where their nerves almost feel like frayed and fried and they can't really sleep now. This is also a really wonderful one for people who overthink like every situation, and when they're laying down to go to bed, their brains just kind of work in this circular motion, just replaying things. It's like the same thoughts just stuck on repeat. This one is also really helpful for people who experience like tics and tremors and spasms, like restless leg syndrome would be an example of this. Yeah, this one would be very supportive for that. I don't recommend Passionflower if you are pregnant or if you're taking hypotensive medication or if you're taking barbiturates or other central nervous system depressants. Additionally, I don't recommend this one with bradycardia and if you have like chronic liver and kidney conditions. Lastly, the best way to take this one would be as an infusion or as a tincture. And actually, I don't know if I said that about hops. I would recommend taking hops as infusion about 30 minutes before bed. But for Passionflower, so you can drink it as an infusion or you can take it as a tincture, but you should know that the tincture is going to be more potent. So it's going to be stronger. So just play with it to see what makes the most sense for you. Valeriana officinalis, commonly known as valerian or Valerian root. So this one is specifically indicated for people who are emotionally heightened, who have high anxiety and nervousness and even bouts of depression. These individuals often get very easily irritated in a noticeable way, but they don't express it very easily. Opposed to the person who might be better suited for hops, those individuals are snappy and they don't have a problem expressing their irritability. Valerian people, they hold it in and they tend to have like, it almost makes their demeanor very tense and rigid, and because of this it can actually impact their quality of sleep. So not only is there a mental emotional aspect to it, but their quality of sleep, because they have these very like rigid tight muscles where it's difficult for them to relax. So yeah, this one would be very specific for these individuals and people who have a cold face or cold hands and feet, because this one is very warming. This one also has digestive properties as well. So if you were somebody who has these symptoms, but then you also like nervousness causes you to feel indigestion in your stomach or like a knot in your stomach, this one can also be really supportive for that. So I don't recommend this one if you are pregnant or breastfeeding or if you're taking sedative medications, because it can increase the effect of those sedative medicine. I recommend taking this one as a decoction. That's my personal favorite way to take it. I am going to warn you, it does have an aroma to it. So if you are very picky about the way things taste, maybe don't do the decoction. I've heard other herbalists say that they like it as a cold infusion, meaning that you're going to get like room temperature water, put the roots in that water and let it infuse that way. So it's going to preserve the volatile oils, which have medicinal properties. I've never done it that way. I like the decoction. I have taken this one in capsule form. It works very well that way too. I do want to warn you that this one, two things about this. If you are somebody that is naturally very fiery or you have a hot constitution, so you have a red face or red hands and hot feet and warm hands all the time, this one can be stimulating instead of sedating. So that's something to keep in mind. Additionally, high doses of this one can make you groggy in the morning. I have been there with this. And what I've done for myself and clients is to reduce the amount of valerian root and to actually add chamomile. I found that to be quite balancing. I think that's it for this video. So if you have enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, put a comment below, share it with somebody, and I have some other videos you might like to watch. Other than that, yeah, I think that's it. Bye.